Medicare Supplement plans, also known as Medigap plans, are often referred to as the gold standard for coverage when you're on Medicare. But is this the right fit for you in 2025? Hi, I'm Larry Goist, owner of LMS Insurance Group, where we help seniors navigate the Medicare Maze. So in today's short video, I'm getting into the pros and cons of Medigap coverage, and I'm going to go over 4 real basic topics. So number 1, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what a Medigap plan is. Secondly, I'm going to get into some of the pros of this type of coverage. Third, I'll tell you the flip side and go over a few of the negatives to watch out for. And then fourthly, I'll tell you exactly who this coverage is perfect for, and that's all coming up next. Hey guys, before I dive in, don't forget to like our channel. Definitely subscribe if you find this helpful. I'd really appreciate you doing that. Okay, so what is Medigap coverage? Well, Medigap coverage works hand in hand with your Parts A and B to fill in the gaps left behind. So to keep things simple, you could think about Medicare A and B that offer you 80% coverage. You have 80% coverage on average for doctors, surgeries, hospitals, and tests. And when you're buying a Medigap plan, you are buying a plan, you're paying a private insurer to fill in that 20% gap left behind by original Medicare. Now, Medigap plans are named after the alphabet, A through N. So you could buy 12 different Medigap plans. There's 10 lettered plans, and then there's a high deductible version of the plan G and the plan F. Now, all of these work a little bit differently, with the plan F having the most comprehensive coverage, followed by the plan G, where on those 2 plans you have 100% of benefits paid for and over 95% of benefits paid for. But there's also other lettered plans that are going to not cover even nearly that entire gap left behind. But in general, you're buying a Medigap plan to cover some or all of the gaps left behind by Parts A and by Parts B, which again is that 20% cost sharing. Now, when we talk about Medigap plans, it's important to understand this has nothing to do with drug coverage. When you buy Medigap, you are also purchasing a separate Medigap plan. So when I say a plan F pays 100% of what A and B do not, that has nothing to do with drug costs. You still might have out-of-pocket costs for your drugs, right? The Medigap plan F is picking up all the medical gaps left behind. So let's dive into some of the positives or the pros of Medigap plans. So number 1 is you're going to have no network. So when you buy Medigap, it doesn't matter who the insurer is. You can go to any doctor that accepts Medicare. So whoever you purchase your Medigap plan from does not matter in terms of what doctors you can go to. If you have a Medigap plan, you can go to any doctor that accepts Medicare, no questions asked. Okay, the second big positive of Medigap plans is that they do not require prior approval, otherwise known as prior authorization. So this is a huge difference between Medigap and Medicare Advantage, that when you have a Medigap plan, you do not have to go to the insurer, or your doctor or clinical staff does not need to go to the insurer to get approval for services. If your doctor orders an MRI, nobody has to approve it. As long as it's a Medicare covered service, the Medigap plan will pay for that particular procedure. And this is a huge one for people that find Medigap coverage important, is that they don't need pre-approval for services. So you have no networks, you have no prior approvals, and you also have a plan that is incredibly portable. You could bring it with you wherever you go. If you want to see doctors in California, you can. You want to go to Florida, have at it. Or you find out that the world-renowned cancer treatment center is in Minnesota. You can go. So your coverage is very portable. It's going to travel with you and allow you to go to doctors and hospitals even for non-emergencies out of state. So very convenient. Okay, another definite positive of Medigap plan is its very predictable costs. I mean, heck, if you buy the plan F or the plan G, you pretty much know to the penny what you're going to pay in the year. Take the plan G, for example. The only gap that the plan G does not cover is your Part B deductible. So you know when you have a plan G, say you're paying $150 a month for that. Well, I could tell you to the penny what you're going to pay in the year. You're going to pay $150 times 12 months, and then you're going to pay your $257 deductible. So 150 times 12 is $1,800, and then you're going to have your deductible at the beginning of the year. You add those two numbers together, you have a very predictable cost. You know at the start of the year, you're going to pay no more or no less than that amount because every other gap is covered. Doesn't matter if you go to the hospital, you have surgery, those things are all being paid at 100% by your Medigap Plan G. Okay, and for our last positive of Medigap plans is that they're very easy to understand. When I explain a Plan G to somebody and I say you have 100% coverage after your $257 deductible, pretty much everybody can understand that. There are no hidden costs, there are no hidden fees. You pay the monthly price, you pay your deductible, everything else that is Medicare approved is going to be paid in full. So it's very easy to understand, and the plans do not change year to year. Your price may change year to year, but the benefits and the coverage that you have always stays the same because Medigap plans are standardized. What that means is each company's Plan G has to cover the exact same things. The federal government standardizes the coverage. So you're covered for all the same things no matter what insurer you pick. The only difference will be the monthly premium you pay to have that coverage. So again, your positives are going to be you have no network, you have no prior authorizations, you have very predictable costs, and you have a very straightforward, easy to understand plan. But what about the drawbacks of Medigap plan? What are some of the negatives that you might experience? Okay, so the negatives of Medigap, well, the first one is going to be you're going to have higher monthly premiums. So if you just have original Medicare, you pay $185 a month, you pay for Part B. If you have original Medicare and then you substitute that for a Part C Advantage plan, again, you're usually going to have no additional premium. But when you talk about Medigap plans, you're going to have to pay your Part B Medicare premium, which is $185 a month in 2025, and then you're also going to have to pay an additional premium to an insurer to pick up those gaps. So your monthly cost is certainly going to be much higher than if you had an Advantage plan or just original Medicare. Okay, the second drawback would be that there's no extra benefits included. So if you want coverage for dental, if you want coverage to buy eyeglasses or contacts each year or hearing aids, you're going to have to buy all those coverages separately. So when you have Medigap, you need some kind of Medicare card holder because you're going to have your Medicare card, your Medigap plan, you're going to have your dental plan, your vision plan. You're going to have coverage from a multitude of different insurers possibly because the Medigap plan does not include those extras. And to build on that concept, you're also going to have to purchase a Part D drug plan. And if you don't purchase a drug plan on time, you'll be penalized. So you're building everything a la carte when you have Medigap coverage. You could have a drug plan from one insurer, a Medigap plan from another, and then a dental and vision plan from another. So I would say it's a definite con that you have to kind of build everything separately and pay different premiums for all those products to really complete your coverage. So what type of people should consider Medigap plans? Well, in my opinion, there are 3 reasons you will pick a Medigap plan. Number 1, if you never want to hear the word network, you're going to like the idea of Medigap. Number 2, if you never want to hear the word prior authorization, then you are certainly going to love the idea of having Medigap coverage. And then thirdly, if you want incredibly predictable costs, if you just want to know at the start of the year what your medical is going to cost you, then you are certainly going to want to look at Medigap coverage. Because Medigap coverage is going to give you incredibly predictable costs, no networks, and no prior authorizations for different medical services. So guys, Medigap plans are incredibly comprehensive, flexible plans. Not everybody wants to pay the premiums to have that type of coverage, but if it's affordable to you, it is certainly worth every penny you pay. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. I'll talk to you next time. Larry Goist, LMS Insurance Group. Thanks.